Welcome back, Source Nation. Now here's your host, Kathy B.
Welcome back, Source Nation. Welcome back. You're listening live right here on the Ladies Lounge. I am your host, Kathy B. We have about 58 minutes before we lose the live feed. Telephone number to reach us tonight is 619-924-0933. Again, 619-924-0933. I want to take a quick moment to thank my guest in the first hour. I was speaking with the lovely Shaniqua Johnson. Of course, you all know that I'm excited because we are doing another collaborative author book, which we are speaking to some amazing women. The book is called Women Inspiring Nations. Then, of course, you can go out to Kathy B, Source Radio Network, as well as our main station page, Source Radio Network, to learn more about Shaniqua Johnson. Well, we're now into our second hour of the show, and I'm telling you, I have some amazing women stopping by the studio giving us some great information in reference to Women Inspiring Nations. And what they're doing, Source Nation, is really sharing with us their journey, whether it be on a business level, family, relationships, whatever it may be. I'm telling you, you're in store for a treat because these ladies are giving us some wonderful information. So if you're tuning in and you're wondering, what is Kathy B talking about? Let me tell you this. Now, this book is designed to feature women who are using their gifts for the greater good, taking their gifts beyond the boundaries of their own zip code and being intentional about inspiring others by sharing their story, their lessons, and their knowledge. Now, each contributing author will share their story about how they discovered their unique gift or calling in spite of life's distractions, challenges that they faced along the way, walking in their greatness. I love it. Now, they have found the drive to focus and commit to this process, the most pivotal lessons that they've learned, what fears they had to face, and how they used their amazing gifts to impact as well as inspire others. I love it. Now, I am going to tell you, this next young lady's coming in, and she's going to give us an amazing journey as well. I am going to be speaking with Miss Nova Simone. I do believe that Nova's here in the studio with us. Nova, hello and welcome to the Ladies Lounge. How are you this evening?
Hello, Kathy. Thanks for having me. I am wonderful. How about yourself?
I am amazing. I love the fact that I'm going to be speaking with you. I've had the opportunity to speak with several of the other young ladies that are part of this amazing book. And to have you here in the studio tonight is pure joy. So thank you for coming in. Now, Nova, you know, I haven't given your bio justice, and I tell you why. We've had the opportunity really to begin to share you with the Source Nation family and the ladies here in the lounge. But if you will, if you could just share a little bit more about you, we'll jump into the conversation from there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, once again, my name is Nova. I am the founder of DC Random Act of Kindness, which is an organization that is designed to make a difference in the underserved and underrepresented communities. I've also initiated a Made Men initiative, which Made Men stands for Making a Difference Every Day. And through this platform, I honor and acknowledge men and reward them annually when they get caught in the acts of making a difference in the community. So most times they go unnoticed. They don't even know I'm watching, and I just take it upon myself with my team and honor them. And in turn, that makes an impact with them, and then it enables them to uplift in their community where they serve. I'm also co-authoring on my first book, which is Women Inspiring Nations. Such a pleasure to join with some wonderful women, like-minded women, who indeed do everything that we can to serve in our capacity for the greater good of the global society. So in addition to that, I'm a mom. I love people. I'm a woman of faith. I'm a good friend. Committed to inspiring and encouraging and empowerment, and just an all-around global citizen, I would say. as I've been told.
I love it. I love it. Well, Nova, again, thank you so much for being here in the lounge, and I definitely want to go ahead and jump into this amazing conversation. And my first question for you, in reference to this being your very first book that you co-authored, talk to us a little bit about your journey and why was it so important to place your message there?
Okay, awesome. What's so significant about this book is to be able to share how I was able to turn my actual pain into power and use it for a purpose. My story came about through my mom's passing away. It kind of completely changed the whole trajectory of my life. And by doing so, I was able to hear my mom right before she passed. And when I say hear, I mean listen attentively, like pay attention to her actions. A little brief history about my mom. My mom was like the go-to woman. She was the backbone of the family. You know, she's a single mom, so she had this image where she just had to be strong. She would never display any kind of vulnerability or any signs of weakness. However, I saw her suffering. Like I said, she was the go-to. In fact, the day before she passed away, she was coming from the casino, like 3 o'clock that morning, 9 o'clock that morning, she was out of here. But before all that, I was able to listen to her attentively, and I heard her suffering, and I made her, through kindness, without trying to tell her what to do with her life, I was able to just be, and it allowed her to open up, and then she started sharing her wishes with me, basically telling me she was accepting her fate. She started preparing everything to the details. And when we had these family discussions, my family will be like, no, we don't want to hear that. Don't talk like that. But me, I sat there and I just allowed her to be. And because of that, during her transition, I saw how important it was to be kind, to just be there without telling someone what to do, to accept what they were accepting, and just to be that comfort and that safe place. So through that, I initiated Random Act of Kindness to kind of help the people who are suffering in silence, to provide hope that it's okay, you know, to find peace in whatever it may come. And my mom wasn't perfect. She had poor health that she didn't keep up with, and she knew that, but I didn't make her feel bad about it. It was like, okay, we can't change the past, but from this point, what are your wishes? I'm here. How can I help your load be easier? How can I, you know, just everybody need that safe space sometimes with that one person, and I was honored to be that one person for my mom, and through that I didn't want her life to be in vain, so I said, okay, I'm going to make this commitment to carry out this legacy so I can help the next family, the next person, and it's like a chain reaction. Just be kind. You don't have to do anything, but just be kind. So that's how it came about, and I just put it into fruition, and from that, other initiatives have birthed out of it, different empowerment events, just different avenues to try to motivate and create a safe space and place for everyone.
Right. I love that. You know, and just listening to what you were speaking on, of course, I have not experienced having a parent pass away, but just in general, someone that really spoke volumes in your life. You know, you had your mom as an example, the person that you want to build upon her legacy. I want to talk about that, and I want to talk in the realm of loving and loving intentionally and being genuine with that love. What are your thoughts about that, especially if you have a parent that is not in the best of health, or possibly you might have a spouse or a friend that may be that way, and you're searching for the love within that relationship, trying to find it, trying to define it. What are your thoughts on that?
my thoughts on it, having lived through it, and I go through it every day when I see people making poor choices, unnecessary poor choices, or what I call self-inflicted nonsense, which is sin. That's my abbreviation, my terminology for sin. I see that every day, but what takes me to another level is having compassion. And I had to seek deep for it. I had to pray for it. The power of compassion allowed me to see past the inflictions or the poor health or the whatever sin or poor choices these people have done and see beyond it. And sometimes when you see beyond it, you can see a broken person, someone in pain, and then you feel sorry for them. Not in a way where, you pity them, but it allows the compassion to come through. And through that compassion and that love, change occurs. Like I said, through that, it allowed her to open up and show me she was hurting or show me her vulnerability. And all I said was, Mom, what are your wishes? Not telling her what to do, go this way, or this is how can I make your load easier? Okay, if this is the path you're going to go, how can I help you? And when I say help somebody to the core. At the end of the night, the evidence of help is that person having peace and you're having peace.
That's right.
So
I love
that's
that.
what.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And the fact that, if they're going through something, just as you said, you want to help. We've had so many people that have been in that predicament one way or another, but instead of helping, the area of judgment falls into place.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And, judgment is not a good thing. So I want to focus on that with the ladies here in the lounge and talk about when we are in a position we can help. And that's what we should be doing, but yet it ends up we're judging the person. We're judging them based on the actions and based on the things that they've done. So what are your thoughts about that? Help us understand. Helping is what it is. We should not be in that form of judgment.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to be honest, Kathy, it is so much easier for me to help a stranger than it is for me to help my own family. It's so hard because you have these expectations that your family know better. Whereas a stranger, you ask no question. You just to the rescue. But with my family, because I know they should know better, I have to go to a deeper place in me. And like I said, I go to that space where I'm able to come through with compassion. Like, okay, nobody, will willingly do this to themselves on purpose. Where's their pain really coming from? Like, are they acting out from some kind of pain? And if you get an understanding and you see what stands under it, it allows you to kind of rise above, but it takes effort. It takes a daily effort. It takes prayer. It takes, reminders. It takes being around like-minded people to help you to be strong enough to go deep enough to come through with compassion. One of my favorite role models of them all is Jesus. People come to him saying this lady is caught in the act, and Jesus didn't judge her. He just said, go your way, and he forgave and go no way and do no more. And through that act of forgiveness, that lady was transformed. So through these character traits that my role model demonstrated, it allows true transformation. So when I'm out here promoting acts of kindness or I'm saying kindness matters, I'm speaking of on a deeper level where out the blue, somebody like, oh, my goodness, you was nice to me even though I was mean to you? There must be a God or there must be power in it. So that's where the true power comes from, all them characteristics, transformation, peace, loving, kindness. And sometimes it's not, I say it's not easier said and done, but it's not really that hard when you take yourself out of it and you see the bigger picture and you realize that true change or true transformation comes through true acts and not just the word. When I say acts, I mean you're putting action behind it. You're doing something. There's something like a tool or something used to transform the situation, So that's why I say it's something so simple, but it's something that's so important if it's done, authentically.
I love that. You said some great things there, and I want to touch on two areas where we talked about judgment, but you mentioned the word forgiveness, and I want to focus on that for just a quick second, because with the conversation that I had prior to you coming into the studio, I faced the area of having to forgive, when if you looked at the story and heard the story, you would have been like, or any one of my friends would have been like, girl, I don't know why you're trying to forgive him, because he did all this and he did all that to you all when you all were married. In my marriage, I'm divorced now, soon be 10 years, but infidelity played a role. And infidelity played a role pretty much primarily throughout the whole entire marriage. And once I was able to get past the separation, get past the divorce, one of the things I had to do in order for me to heal and move on was I had to forgive him. And I remember him, Nova, saying to me, will you ever forgive me? Are you mad at me? Will we be able to move beyond this? And I looked at him and I said, I forgave you when I found out, which knocked him off his feet. I said, I had to do that. I had to do that if I wanted to do better and be better for myself and for our children. I had to forgive you. There's no sense in me harboring over the fact you did what you did. The solution is for me to move on. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, because, see, it's very hard for us to really put ourselves in a position where we need to, I'm not going to say want to, where we need to forgive. Talk to the ladies in the lounge about that.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Forgiveness is so important. It's so important to the person who's giving it. You know what I mean? Like, as with life, all sorts of things get thrown at us, and it comes through different random people. But true act of forgiveness is a demonstration of your faith and your character and where you stand. I always tell people forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you to be at peace, because if you don't, it's like a blockage. It's like a dis-ease. And no matter, I always compare it to like a sore, a scar. If you don't heal from it, anything that triggers or touch that scar is going to cause you pain. And the object is to try to live as pain-free life as we can. So some people are not even worth us not forgiving. You know what I mean? And then a lot of people misinterpret forgiveness. They think forgiveness means, okay, yeah, you can do this to me again, or, okay, yeah, things will be the same. No, you can forgive and you can move on. It just, to me, forgiveness just means, okay, what you've done no longer has power over me. I'm going to own my power. I'm going to own my part in it. I'm going to excuse you because I need to be free. I can't be in bondage to the mistakes that you did, or I can't be in bondage to where you failed. You know what I mean? So saying that somebody has to be the better person, it's definitely true. And once again, through that act of forgiveness, you will see that person transform, because they will be like, wait a minute, all this I did to you, and you mean to tell me you forgive me? I caused you pain, and you can intentionally forgive me? Yes, I can, because it's not about this. There's a whole bigger picture. It's about peace. And sometimes people can only obtain that through your act, And there we go again with the action word. Forgiveness is just not a word. It's an action, meaning if that conversation come up again, it no longer hurt you. It no longer has power over you. You may not look at that person the same. You can, you call it what it is. If this person doesn't tell the truth, that's the person that doesn't tell the truth. Forgiveness is not going to change that fact that that person don't tell the truth. But you forgive them, meaning I release you. You have no power over me. I pray for you. I wish you well, and I'm going to be well. You know. So it has to be well within your soul. It's like I said, it's so easy. It's easier to forgive a stranger, but somebody close to you, it takes more work. You know, it takes more effort. It takes more intention. You know, at the end of the night, I believe it's all a test, and you got to pass it. And some people, it's not worth repeating the same lesson, life lesson over and over and over again. So it's just not worth it. But, yeah, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, that is so true. So true. Great information there. Now, I want to talk about once we've reached the area of understanding judgment, you know, and versus helping, and then being able to forgive. Once we do those two things, we're at the area of where we're now transforming, transitioning, reinventing ourselves. Okay, because those are two steps that you're making. Talk to us about once we're at that point, being able to transform, transition, reinvent. What are your thoughts about that? And can you do that with what you're speaking of?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. That's a great question to raise, because it's like, what is it all for if you go through all the hard work? It allows joy to come in. It allows, I'll call it heaven on earth. Like hell is a state of mind, so is heaven. It can be a state of mind. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's what we want to enjoy life. You know, you want to see your problems and not get upset again, because it doesn't have power over you. And then in turn, it allows that power to come through you and can help the next person. Then can help the next person. Then we can have this happy world that we all hope for, you know. So absolutely, it's the joy, the happiness, the peace, which is great because peace allows you to be creative, and it carries on in generations, you know. As I mentioned in my story, that how I intentionally broke patterns of single parenting. You know, I've never had a two-parent household. I wanted to make sure my son had one so that I can shift the way. If there is a such thing as generational curse, it was going to stop with me. You know, I wanted to start something new. That's the innovative part. You know, I went to college, the first one to get a college degree. Be honest, Kathy, college degree don't mean anything to me except for the fact that I accomplished something. You know, I don't, it doesn't even, the skills I learned, it doesn't even apply to what I could do today. It basically just showed me I can finish what I started. I can do what I put my mind to. I can shift this generational thing, you know, and I can show people that it's possible. So sometimes what we do, our actions, it's not even about us. It's about who's watching. It's about who's watching. I have a 7-year-old cousin who we do this family. I started it. It was, actually, I talk about it in the book. It was my mom's last Christmas, and one of her wishes was, Nova, I want a vacation. I didn't ask any questions because by this time I knew 9 months out that she was ready for it because she started telling me what color she wanted to wear for her funeral. Nobody wanted to hear it, but I would listen. You know, I would make it enjoyable for her, and she felt safe, like, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this. And it came to pass, you know, and it gave me peace. And I knew she was at peace, even though it was it just felt like a horrible situation. You can make beauty. You can find beauty, you know, if you seek it and you look for it and you create it, you can find it. Well, anyway, my 7-year-old cousin went with us on that cruise. That was my family's first cruise. And we just did another cruise this year. And my 7-year-old cousin, who was 5 then and 7 now, she turns to me and she said, Nova, I am going to keep this tradition of our family up. And I said, oh, my goodness. I almost came into tears because I was like, this is why I do what I do. I went through hectic trying to get this cruise together with everybody, being the lead. And I was like, why am I even doing this? Not a couple of months later, her saying those words confirmed to me why I do what I do. And sometimes when we get discouraged or when we get heavy because, you know, we try to help the world with what we do, God will send those little reminders to you to show you exactly, you know, that what you're doing is not in vain and the bigger picture of it all. And that's all I needed. And it encouraged me so much that I'm like, yes, I'm going to shift this generational thing. Now I have that generation watching me, and she wants to keep it up. I didn't have to ask her, didn't have to encourage her. She, in turn, is picking it up. So, you know, it's the forgiveness and all that work that I do, it just made it all worthwhile.
I love it. I love it. Source Nation and the ladies in the lounge, we are speaking with Miss Nova Simone, and, of course, tonight she is giving us her journey through the collaboration book that we're speaking on tonight. Now, Nova, let's talk a little bit more because you have given us some great information in reference to your journey. Let's talk about how receptive your story has been with the people that you shared with. And have you come across anyone that may have problems with forgiving or not really wanting to transition past hurt and pain that they've received, either from a loved one or maybe friends? What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, my goodness, Kathy, I'm going to need you to stay out my business. No, I'm saying that in a funny way because guess what? Ever since my mother's transition, my sister and I have not been the same. We have not spoken, and it's been about 3 years. We speak in passing. Yeah, and I never had nothing. I never thought I had anything to forgive her for. But I guess that's something that I'm currently working on because I never got to share with her how I felt, or we never got to share with each other how we feel since my mom's passing. It was like directly after the funeral, she went her way, I went my way. We're not social network friends, and there's been a lot that's transpired, and I guess you can say I turn a blind eye to it, because I can't afford to look at it, because sometimes when you have negative energy, if you look at it, you don't want to become it or you don't want to react to it. So I turn a blind eye to it, but I'm conscious and I know it's there and I know it's a problem. And because I pray for compassion, I searched deep for it, and I just felt like I picked up where she left off with my mom. She wasn't speaking to my mom 6 months before she passed. Everybody went on a cruise except for her. I don't even think I acknowledged my sister or acknowledged that situation in the story. Could be a huge factor that can probably help another family. But like I said, I don't know if I'm turning a blind eye to it or, But, yeah, that's a tough one that's going on because, like I said, her issues with my mom kind of transpired to her taking that out on me. And then through compassion, I know she didn't get closure to her and my mom not speaking, and she would never be able to get that closure. So, I'm currently working on that right now. But she hasn't seen the story. I didn't tiptoe around it because it is what it is. Right. But I did consider her, and not mention it, because I didn't want it to cause additional pain because I already know she's hurting. I can honestly say my lack of response to her is my act of love. The fact that I didn't go there or I didn't get angry or I'm able to embrace her if I, was to see her. I'm still able to maybe send happy birthday cards because I don't have her phone number, so I'll get her grandbaby. I try to stay connected to let her know, like, hey, there's no love lost, So, yeah, that I didn't mention that, and I don't know how well that's going to come across if she reads the story, but it is what it is. Maybe that'll be another chapter.
And I definitely understand that. And I think, with time, the other person, I definitely believe, will change. I don't think we should stop doing what we do. Meaning, if we are at that area in our lives where we can realize that we have done some things wrong and we have owned up to our faults, and we've placed it out in the universe of I forgive you, then I think in time it will transcend over to the other person. So with that said, let's talk about that. What do we do in the midst of time, the wait?
Mm-hmm.
What should we do? What are your thoughts about that?
Absolutely. Well, one of my spiritual mentors once told me that God only sees himself, right?
Okay.
So I think about that. That comes up in my consciousness a lot. And I'm like, what do you mean God only sees himself? In a world that's suffering, in a world of hate, you mean to tell me God don't see that? And it wasn't until this conversation with you, Kathy, that I realized that I'm not turning a blind eye to that. I'm just being the good that I want to see. You know, I'm being the good that I want to see. It ain't like I don't want to see the hate, or it's not a reflection of me. So I don't feed into it, you know, as energy. I don't give it away. I believe in owning your power. I acknowledge if there's pain or discomfort there, but I ultimately do everything I can to be the good I want to see. Plus, I understand the rule of karma. What goes around comes around. Sometimes it's not good to indulge in people when they lash out in pain, because, as they say, hurting people hurt people. Sometimes that's when you rise up to be that better person, look beyond the hurt, and you can see that there's a broken little girl who doesn't have her mommy. And I had a father coming up. She didn't. So I can see that from a broken perspective. And that, once again, that power of compassion could come in, because it doesn't make me angry. It doesn't make me bitter because I can't afford it and it doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't exist in wholeness. You know, so it's like I said, it's an everyday, constant reminder. That's why I connect with the people like the co-authors in this book. I connect with like-minded individuals. I show up for platforms like yours because we can easily forget. You know, we can easily forget and step outside our zone, but it takes a remind her, which I always say, remind her, like you reminding something you already knew, to get back in your position and your place of power.
Love it. Great information, Nova, that you have shared with us tonight. Definitely. As we are ending our conversation, of course, I would like to ask if you have any inspiring encouragement words you would like to share, or maybe some tips and advice that we have not shared in tonight's conversation. I would love for you to do so at this time.
Yes, absolutely. I've always, put up good encouragement and words at my website, which is novainspires.com, or more information at randomactofkindnessdc.com. But I ultimately believe that in order to see a difference or make a difference in the world, you actually have to be the good you want to see. You have to be that change you want to see. If most of the times, if you looking out at someone thinking that they may be a problem, they may be a change, take a look in yourself and make sure it's not a reflection of an inner part of you. Everything takes a lot of self-work first before we can actually, genuinely help someone else. So, yeah, it's an everyday thing. It's an everyday process. So that's some of my words of wisdom.
I love it. And, again, share with the ladies in the lounge and Source Nation, how can we get more information about you and continue to support you in your efforts?
Absolutely. The website for Random Act of Kindness is randomactofkindnessdc.com. For more information on myself, you can also go to novainspires.com. Follow me on Facebook, Nova Simone Shanova.com. Nova Simone Shanova. And Seriously Nova on Instagram. But, yeah, just be the good you want to see, and you will be able to see the world will change for you. The world will open up. Joy will open up. Peace will open up for you once you open up for it.
Awesome. I love it, Nova. Thank you so much for coming in tonight and definitely sharing your journey here with the ladies in the lounge and definitely the Source Nation family. We wish you a lot of success with the book and look forward to hearing from you again real soon.
Thanks so much, Kathy. Thanks for what you do, and most importantly, thanks for having us women on your show.
You're welcome. Thank you. And
Appreciate
good night.
You. Good night, Kathy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, Source Nation, you heard it right there from Miss Nova Simone. She's part of a collaboration of beautiful women, the brand new book, Women Inspiring Nations. For more information on Nova, you can go over to Kathy B, Source Radio Network, as well as our main station page, Source Radio Network. What I love most about my conversation with Nova was the fact, we talked about judgment. We talked about being able to love, but we also talked about being able to forgive and moving beyond that and owning up to those things that, you may have done in the past and you really hadn't sat down and thought about it, but now you're at the point where you can look into the mirror and just say, what part did I play? And it's fine to say and ask yourself, what part did I play? But be willing to put in the work. And when you put in the work, ultimately the change will come and life will become that much beautiful and that much great for you and the ones around you. Love what she had to say. Again, two beautiful women in the studio with me. Up first was Miss Shaniqua Johnson, and then, of course, here in our second hour, Miss Nova Simone. Again, Source Nation and the ladies in the lounge, continue to support what these young ladies are doing, because I'm telling you, the information that they're sharing, the journeys that they are blessing us with will ultimately make a difference for the better. Information, again, in regards to Women Inspiring Nations, you can go out to Kathy B, Source Radio Network, as well as our main station page, Source Radio Network. I want to thank you all for being with us tonight. Join us again back here next Friday at 7 p.m. for the Ladies Lounge. I'm your host, Kathy B. You all have a wonderful and blessed evening. Good night.
Get at me for beats, y'all.